What's up, guys? I know it's been a while, but finally back. So a lot's changed since my last video. I know it's been a really long time. Really been working hard these last few months, but it finally happened. I'm no longer a lease operator. As of Monday, today is Friday. As Monday, I am now an owner-operator. I went from my old Freightliner truck. It was a 2016 Freightliner Cascade Evolution, and I'm now an owner of a 2019 Peterbilt 579 with the 80-inch sleeper. I will be doing a tour video of it in the next couple of days. Currently, we're on a load going from Dallas, Texas, up to Troy, New York. Got a job site delivery on Monday morning. I'm no longer training either. My wife is back with me, so we're back solo. Right now I'm in Little Rock at the Petro. But basically on this video, what I want to do was go through and tell you my experience when it came to turning the truck in, dealing with the completion bonus, the completion dinner, and just the process I went through. For any of you guys that are currently at Prime who have never done a lease and this can be your first lease, or the guys who possibly might be coming in. So I had the truck for 3 years. When I started here at Prime 4 years ago, I was a reefer driver, and that was the truck I had. Brand new, off the lot, it had no miles. We're off the yard at Prime in Springfield, Missouri. Had 0 miles on it when I took it. And then about 6 months in, solo reefer, just wasn't my thing. I wasn't digging it, so I went flatbed and I kept the truck. So I kept that 3-year contract. Because at Prime, reefer is 3-year contract, flatbed is a 4-year contract. So I kept a reefer contract. So that was why I only had the truck for 3 years. From what I've been told, the truck is put back in the fleet as a company truck. So if anybody's out there who sees truck 651288, that was my old truck. Anyway, so I had the truck for 3 years. The last year I trained. When it came to turn the truck in, it was a very easy process. It wasn't as bad as everyone seemed to talk about. So it might be difficult for other people, but it was a really simple process for me. It was more a pain and a hassle to get off because my Peterbilt wasn't there quite yet. I had to put all my stuff from my truck into a storage unit, so that took a little bit more time. That was the most, I would say, most aggravating thing to deal with. Other than that, everything went pretty smooth. So when you turn the truck in, you go in and you go to Success Leasing. That's who leases the trucks at Prime. You tell them, hey, I'm here to turn my truck in. They let you let them know, and then you set up an appointment for an inspection, a lease completion inspection. You take the truck in, and I want to say it's Bay 37, I believe is the Bay number. They'll tell you what it is when you ask. You set up an appointment. I had a late night appointment, so I was later in the day. So anyway, I went to the Bay. Got there on my appointment time. The guy pulled it in. He said, give me about an hour. You go get you some dinner, whatever you need to do. And in about an hour's time, come back up and we'll go over what I found. No problem. Went to dinner, came back. We went over everything together. Everything he found, I had no issues with. I mean, I understood the reason why he had to write them down. I wasn't complaining about the reason why he wrote them down. I wasn't going to try to contest it, argue with it, because I mean it was obvious it needed to be fixed or whatever. Over 3 years and almost 500,000 miles, you're going to have some wear and tear on things, especially having new people who had never driven a truck and having to teach them how to shift. You're going to have a lot of wear and tear on things. So I didn't argue none of that. But he was very thorough with what he did. I was very pleased with how the process. So after that point, when that's done and over with, The day you turn your keys in to the shop, for the inspection, whatever, your payments stop. I turned my lease in a week in advance from what the original date was due. You're able to turn your truck in a week prior or a week after your actual end of lease date. So I turned mine in a week early. I had some things to do with one of my students, and just to me it didn't make any sense to drop him off, try to go out for a week and make it back. It was just, I was already there. I could turn the truck in. It is what it is. So I went and turned it in. So they stopped my payments right there. I didn't get hit no more payments that stopped that date. Anyway, they did all that. Pam, if you come to Prime and if you go to lease and you need a legitimate question answered, and you want someone who's not going to BS you around and who's very, very helpful, ask for Pam in leasing. She deals with all the owner operators, but she's a wonderful person to deal with. She was very helpful through my whole process. I couldn't ask for more help than her. She was awesome. So remember Pam in leasing, she's the lady to go to over there. All of them in leasing was pretty helpful, but Pam was the one if I ever had a legitimate question that I needed to answer right there, I went straight to Pam. After that was all said and done, turned in I did everything, turned the truck in. I went on vacation. When I came back, my truck was here. This is where things kind of got a little bit more, kind of a pain in my neck, just because everything was so hectic, everything was going around. A lot of things, they didn't schedule my headache rack appointment to get my headache rack put on my Peterbilt, so I had to make that appointment. They didn't have a couple of things set up right, so they had to refix it on the truck. Like the condenser for the AP was put in the wrong spot, so they had to move it, and so that was a little bit of hassle. And then my deer guard, its color matched the truck. They didn't do that, so they had to send it to Kenworth, who does the body shop in Springfield. They sent it to them, get them to fix it. So there's a couple of things like that. I wouldn't really say it was something that made me really upset. It was just kind of like, just something else I had to add on to the list to get done before I could leave out, and start working. Other than that, it was a great process. I didn't get charged. You hear horror stories about how they just kill you in charges and take all this money away from you, and you don't make any money from your completion. I'm very, very happy with what I walked away with. I walked away with a large sum of money. I don't really talk about my finances, but I walked away with pretty much a lot. I couldn't have asked for, a better process. So far, everything's been going really well. Everyone treated me with, the utmost respect. No one tried to BS me around. If I had to say for anybody to go lease, I would highly suggest it. It's just one of those things that, as long as you're good with money and you're not the kind of person that as fast as the money comes in, you blow it, you'll be fine. If you can manage money, you're good. If you can manage your time and and learn from your mistakes, you'll do great. That's what kills a lot of people out here, in my opinion, is they come out here and, yeah, we make decent money. I can't say I don't make good money, but I also am good at not spending my money. I try to save my money up, and a lot of guys come out here and they start leasing and they just blow it. They just completely blow their money, and that's when they start having a lot of issues. Leasing is not as bad as people make it seem like it is. It's basically the person, really. Prime was good to me for these past 3 years. I intend to stay with them. I am still with Prime. I don't intend to leave Prime anytime soon. And it's just, it was a very, very easy process. I couldn't have asked for a better process. I really enjoyed it. Turning in the truck was a lot easier than I expected it to be. It was nowhere near as bad as I thought it was going to be. I thought it would be a lot worse. I'd heard so many horror stories. I was really nervous. But it was awesome. It was a great experience. Sorry about that, my phone died. But you know, it's just one of those things that I, I can't say nothing bad about lease. I mean, I had my bad days. I can't say I didn't. I had rough times, solo and when I was training. Of course, training I was making a lot more money, but you know, I had issues there too. But other than that, I mean, I have a great dispatcher. He treats me very well. I've never had anyone mistreat me at Prime. I mean, I bumped heads with my reefer dispatcher when I first started, but you know, you're not gonna get along with everybody. Other than that, it was great. You know, I can't complain about anything. It's just you know, I worked myself up more than I should have. I just couldn't. I was really stressed out, to be honest. I had been worrying about that day for 3 years, thinking that, you know, I hope this works out. I hope this works out. And I have to say, I was very pleased and very happy with the process. When it comes to leasing in general, I'm gonna be honest. If you're gonna come out here and you want to go lease, and you're, you know, the way I feel about it, this is my own opinion. If you come out here and you're already swamped in bills, and you know you're barely staying above water because you got so many bills back home, and your fixed costs at home, you got to look at that. Your fixed costs at home, are out the roof. You know, you really got to be careful, because you know, it's just, you're going to have bad weeks. There might be weeks where you don't make no money. That's the big thing about leasing. You know, it's a company, for the most part, it's a guaranteed check all day long. Leasing, not so much. You know, you gotta understand, you start in the negative every week, because you know, you got your truck payment looking in your face, and like, hey man, I need to be paid, and you ain't got no load yet, so you gotta start from scratch every single week. And what if you have a breakdown, or you hit bad weather and you couldn't get that load delivered on time, and that load was gonna, you know, make your week? And what are you gonna do? You know, and if you got big bills stacked at home, you can't call the bill collector up and say, hey, you know, I had a bad week at work, ain't gonna work, I can't pay it. It doesn't work that way. So you look at that. You know, when I came out here, me and my wife, we sat down, we started thinking about what do we want and what do we need at the house. You know, do we need, you know, we got rid of cable and we got a Roku, used it off Wi-Fi, just watched YouTube and Netflix, and that saved us. So, you know, it didn't seem like a lot at first, but you know, over a year's time, you know, quite a bit of money we saved. And then, because you know, my kids are older, I have 2 daughters, my stepdaughters, but I have 2 daughters. When they moved out of the house, we got rid of our apartment, and my wife stayed with her aunt to help her, because she's elder, and she helped her run our house while I was on the road and training, everything else. So you know, we did that. So you always, you know, ask yourself, what is it you want and what is it you need at home, you know, when it comes to, you know, things that you have. When you go through the, you know, orientation, when I came into orientation at Prime, a very easy process. You know, as long as you're straightforward, you know, you do what you're told, it's great. You know, they're not here to babysit you. You're supposed to be on time for your classes, everything else. I was supposed to, they usually want to put you on a bus. I flew. I don't know if they do this anymore, but at the time, if you flew or drove your own car, they would reimburse you whatever the bus ticket would cost. The plane ticket actually was cheaper than the bus ticket, so I actually got paid basically to come to Springfield from Seattle. Training was awesome. Had a great trainer. It's an old saying goes, the squeaky wheel gets the oil. So when you're there, you talk to anybody who listens to you. Show that you want to be out here. You want to learn. You want to do that, because you know, no one wants to sit there and waste their time them having in their truck, and they're trying to teach you, and you're just, it's a game to you. You know, they don't look at that. They want to see someone who wants to be out here. When you go through PSD, which is the first phase of training, they give you advancements of $200 a week. Highly suggest you do not use them unless you absolutely have to. And if you do have to use them, don't use them to pay bills back home, because that's where you're going to screw yourself up. Try to save up money before you come, so you don't have to use those, because once you go into TNT, which is the second phase of training, which is when they basically teach you the job and teach you to be a trucker, they're going to start taking that out of your check. And and you might, that guarantee of, I think it's $700 now, or 7 or 8, one of the two. That's $800. Let's just say it's $800 before taxes. Then you got your $200, or whatever, how much they take out at a time for those advancements. I'm not even sure how much they take out because I never used them. So that's even more money coming out. That's less money you can send back home to your family. So try to do that. Upgrade process, once you get through the training and everything, you got to do a total of 30,000 miles. That's include PSD and TNT. You got to do 30,000 miles. No, I'm sorry, 30,000 miles in TNT, which usually takes roughly around 5 weeks, depending on how hard your trainer runs and how hard his dispatcher runs him. So you got to do 30,000 miles. You come back to upgrade. If you're gonna go lease, you basically you gotta go through all these classes again. You gotta do some more computer-based training. They put you on the simulator to eval you, make sure you know your stuff, and that you knew that you've been taught right and you can do it right. Once you get through all that, you go to leasing and you say, hey, I'm here to pick out a truck. If there's trucks available, they'll tell you what trucks are available, tell you where they are. You can go check them out and they put your name on it so no one else will take it while you're looking at it. If you like it, you tell them, hey, I want this truck, and then basically it's just sign on the dotted line on this they give you a contract, they let you read it over before you sign it. I highly suggest you do read that contract. You need to understand that contract. Sign it. Once you feel like you're comfortable with it and you understand it, you sign the contract, you take it to your dispatcher. Usually you keep the dispatcher you were trained with. You go to them, they sign it, you take it back into leasing, and you are now a lease operator of whatever truck. And then you try to get it. Usually they'll give you a load right. If you're a flatbedder like I am, they'll give you your flatbed equipment, and then you gotta put all your flatbed equipment away on your headache rack, all that good jazz. And then you just let your dispatcher, hey man, I'm ready to roll. And then he can either give you a load out of the yard, or they'll deadhead you somewhere to pick up a load. Hopefully you're lucky enough to get a load out of the yard, so then that way you don't have to go anywhere. The load's there. You got to tarp it, strap it, whatever you got to do. You get it all ready to roll out of the yard and hit the road. As a lease op, the first week's truck payment is what they consider. They call it deferred, but basically all they do is they break it down in payments. Instead of paying the full shebang on the first week, they break it out in payments and spread it out for how many weeks it is. They've changed a lot of things since South leased. So they spread it out. So technically you have no truck payment that first week. So that first week you need to hit it hard. I suggest you sign your contract. It lasts a week from the day you sign it, for 7 days. So if you sign on a Friday, the payment will not be charged you for the first Friday to Friday. So if you sign on a Friday, you gotta hit it hard and run your ass off, and try to make as much money as you can. So that way you've got all the time you've been sitting down waiting for a truck, because it could take about a week to get a truck. You've built your bank back up, and then you're ready to hit it. And that's pretty much it. That's pretty much the whole shebang. I mean, easy. I mean, just be focused, and just willing to learn and do your thing. And yeah, that's pretty much where I started at. I started off with orientation, went through the whole process, went through the leasing, and here I am 3 years and a couple weeks later, or basically, if you look at the time I ran a team with my trainers for about 4 years later, I'm now owner-operator. And I started off with nothing. So, I mean, if I can do it, anybody can do it. If y'all have any questions, feel free to hit me up. You can reach me out here on YouTube or whatever. Look me up on Facebook, Stephen Gamble, STEPHEN, GAM as a Michael, BLE. Just look me up on Facebook. Hit me up with any questions you got, and I'll answer them best I can. And just stay tuned for some new videos, and like and subscribe. Peace.